right, I'll go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. It is May 8th, 2019, 7 p.m. I will ask, has everybody had a chance to take a look at tonight's agenda?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, Dan with the motion, Pat with the second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, then I will go ahead and move on to the next, is to open up a public hearing for annexation of land located in Manana Township. So, I will now open the public hearing. The City of Eden Valley received a petition for annexation by ordinance of certain property currently located in the Township of Manana, parcel number 15-0039001, which includes 20 acres. The owner of said property has petitioned the City of Eden Valley to annex the property in pursuant of Minnesota Statute 414.033 subdivision 2, clause 3. Anyone interested in commenting on this proposed annexation or annexation by ordinance is invited to do so at this time. All right. Doesn't look like we have anybody out there for any comments. Open it up to council.
You have to close the public hearing first.
Oh, I gotta close it first? All right, with nobody with any public comment, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Do I gotta do a motion for that, or just close it? All right, then I will close the public hearing and move on to ordinance 19-2, annexing land located in the Manana Township. Boy, I'm having a hard time reading tonight. I even brought my cheaters with.
Is it reading or talking?
Probably a little of both. So, any questions from the council?
No, I didn't have any. I read through it.
No? No. All right. With that being said, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve ordinance 19-2, annexing the land located in the Manana Township into the City of Eden Valley. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. On to approval of the bills. Anybody have any comments? Actually, was there one for you in there?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the bills minus the bill for Thielen Machine.
Second.
I have Dan with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to pay Teal Machine.
All right, I'll second that motion. And all in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
And Dan with the abstain. All right, on to approval of resolution 2019-13, adopting post-issuance debt compliance policy for tax exempt and tax advantage governmental bonds. So this would be allowing Ellers to take care of if I remember correctly, take care of all the filing and government paperwork that we need to do with all our debt in the city. Did I capture that right?
Yes, it's a very long name for what our financial advisors do, and this is what Ellis does, is with all of our governmental bonds, there's filings for each one of them, and they come at periodic, different times throughout the year. And it's typically done every 1 to 3 years.
All right. Anybody, any questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution 2019-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got Troy with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to tonight's consent agenda. Anybody have any comments, questions? Anything that we need to pull out to discuss? All right, hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Dan with the motion to approve.
Second.
Pat with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to boards and commission reports. So, Planning Commission.
Hello. So we'll start with the rental part of it. We have one unit that is passed on its license, and I kind of gave them the okay on that one. we've been there 3 times, and the renter has either changed the locks on the door and barricaded the other door, so I could never get into it. So they plan on moving out in June, so I'm gonna deal with it at that time, so we don't have to fight and get a lawyer involved with that to get right of entry and stuff like that. 4 inspections were done for April, and then we got 2 coming up in May. I made a mistake on 169 Hamborough Street. It did not pass inspection. There was a couple minor repairs. So. And then there was 2 applications for zoning that did not require a meeting. New deck at 215 Church Street and a new shed at 233 Jacqueline Lane. That met all the requirements and were approved by me.
Did the, for the property at 169 Hamborough, did they pay their additional $100?
They did, yes. Yep.
Okay. And on these inspections, these are renewals?
Yes.
Okay. And how are the renewals coming along?
They're okay. They've been, I mean, we haven't got to the problem properties yet again, since they just ended, but there's some minor issues, nothing major that's happened so far. The ones on State Street, there was a little bit, a lot there, so I ended up giving him he just bought the place, so I ended up giving him, if he needed more than a month, to contact me, because he kind of bought it, and it just kind of thrown in his lap, so I told him I would work with him if it needed to come down to it, but I'd like to see it done in a month, but we'll see if that's an issue or not.
So is that the apartments here on Main Street?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How's the issue with the Getsko property,
Oh, the trailer house? Or the double wide?
that double wide, how's that coming?
That was closed. There's nothing on my end that's been going on. They proved that they had a payment arrangement through the Stearns County, and that was the last issue that we had.
So the renter's still there then?
Yep.
Didn't they have some issue with the name on the property? Did they get that resolved?
Yep, that was all shown proof.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Everything going okay with the one on Corsart down here?
Yep, that one's all up to par now too. They repaired everything, and also showing that they're paying taxes on a monthly basis, and so that's about it. They were inspected before we made these additional changes to the code, so I'm sure there'll be more issues in a year down the road when it comes to it.
Okay.
And the house down on Cosart too, where they got the basement under it now, right?
Yep, and they're putting on their addition, and they applied for the new license, what was that, last month or a month before that, and it was approved.
Okay. Good.
All right. Anybody got anything else for Darren? No? All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Aaron.
All right, then on to Parks. Dan has graciously accepted to give an update on that tonight.
Okay, we started construction on the building in Fredericks Park within the last week and a half or so. Building is pretty much, the outside's pretty much up. There's a lot of dirt work and stuff to do yet. Plumbers come into the building today and started doing the plumbing work on it with the bathrooms and the kitchen and things like that. As soon as they get that done, then they'll start pouring concrete. We will be doing some excavating for the splash pad coming up hopefully next week, depending on the weather. This is gonna set things back a little bit. And then we'll be working on tennis courts, pickleball courts, parking lot, and all that stuff too. So, building is the main thing that's going up now, getting put together. So You guys wanna take a run down there and look at the building, see the
Not tonight.
progress and stuff?
Not tonight.
You know, it's,
Unless you got some,
you can go down there,
knee boots for us all to wear.
no? So have any questions on the park, or?
I had some people ask me about like whether or not we're gonna rent that building out or, how that's, you know, is it fully enclosed? Because I didn't have any answers for them because I didn't swing in there, but.
Okay, the building, it's gonna have a fully enclosed area with overhead doors and things like that, so you can rent it out. And it'll be up to the council to decide what to do with, on that part, but that's the plan right now. Then part of it's gonna be an open air, building, that's gonna be a roof over it, so you can sit in the shade and stuff too, so.
Okay.
So the open area, part of it is to the northwest. The building sits at a little bit of an angle. Open areas to the northwest, and the enclosed areas to the southeast. Be a kitchen in there, men's and women's bathroom.
Yeah, I've
Well,
had
it being
people
bigger than I
ask
expected.
too.
One of being a little bit bigger than I, visually thought it would be. Drove by and went, oh, it's a nice sized building.
It's a good size building.
That is a good sized building. Jan, you had some?
Yeah, I already had people ask if they could rent it by May 31st, so.
Well,
I said, I don't think it'll be ready by
No.
then.
2020?
Yeah.
That's all I have on that.
all right. Thank you, Dan. And then on to public forum. Anybody out? No, nobody out in the gallery, so we'll go ahead and move on to department reports. We got Cindy with the financial report for April.
You have before you the cash and investment balances up to April 30th of 2019. We have a total of, with investments, $2,164,057.23.
That's a pretty big jump. I suppose did we just recently get an LGA payment or?
No,
No?
that
Oh, okay.
includes the investments, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. No, we should be getting, the first taxes will be coming here in June, so.
Okay.
July will be the first half of taxes. That includes what we have in investments.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything on that, Cindy?
No, I don't.
No? Anybody have anything for Cindy? All right. Thank you, Cindy. Moving on to Ernie, monthly report.
You got the monthly report, you see, we're getting into, starting to break into summer mode here a little bit, things are actually picking up for us. We also just got out all the spring cleaning notices, I think we sent out like 30, 32, something like that, notices. So if you got anything that you've seen that I might have missed, let me know, drop me a call, whatever, we'll deal with it, but I think I covered most of them. There's always some you miss, or there's a backyard you don't see, that does happen. So if there's something major you see, let me know, and we'll get a letter to them. Another thing under the new ordinances, trying to work through some of those, kind of our first go around with the new codified ordinances that we put into place. There are some issues that I did find in there, so we can address those in the next workshop when we schedule one, which I assume is gonna happen fairly soon. Other than that, I don't have anything.
All right. On anything important to note on the Stearns County prosecution report and the adult diversion report?
No, it's just, she sends out a yearly deal. I mean, you gotta realize we do probably 99.5% of our stuff south. The only thing that ever goes through Stearns, if it's a major deal, then we'll have to go through Stearns County, but anything misdemeanor, gross misdemeanor traffic, everything goes through Meeker. So the majority of all our stuff go that way.
Does Meeker do a similar report like that? No, that's just,
No, she don't. You
That's
could ask
just-
her to do one though, if you wanted one.
I was just more curious than anything else.
Yeah, no, she doesn't do an annual report for us. I'm assuming she could if you asked her, but she never has.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything for Ernie? All right, thank you, Ernie. On to Jim with the Public Works.
Kent Awaji is here, our engineer. He's
All
gonna
right,
go through our project that's going on,
okay.
and maybe more, I don't know.
Hi, on the 2018 improvement project, most of the work is done, kind of like we talked about last fall. Road restrictions come off next Tuesday, so they really can't do anything until then. They're planning to start the week of May 20th and finish up the work that's left. There's some concrete driveways and whatnot that have to be done yet, turf, topsoil, things like that. There's a few areas where the base course is actually breaking up a little bit, so we'll have to cut those open and figure out what's going on underneath and get that fixed up before they raise up all the iron and put the final lift on. The contract requires that it has to be complete prior to Valley Days, which, if I'm not mistaken, starts June 21st.
That is correct.
That sounds right, okay. So I've been in touch with R.L. Larson, you know, talking to them about that and trying to push them along to make sure that we meet that. Last fall, we talked about 3 sewer services that were plumbed wrong, for lack of a better term. The old fire hall crosses over the main and connects to a service that's coming from the highway. We have 3 of those. The other one is the post office, and 163 Rails has a service like that as well. I've been in touch with the contractor about how do we fix that. And their estimate was about $10,000 each to go dig down, basically glue on a Y onto the liner, so you're maintaining the water tightness of the liner system that was put in, and then replace the service with PVC pipe, and then you plug it where it hooked up to the other one, so then you still have a watertight system at the end. So with that amount, I'm curious if the council has an opinion on proceeding with that, or if that's sticker shock, or where does that land?
Seems kind of steep.
That's what I
honestly.
thought too.
I'm kind of on the fence with it. I've talked to Jim about it quite a bit. Haven't had any problems with it historically. We know they're there now, and that's how they're built. And you know, we can note that stuff in our record drawings. But at the same time, it really probably should be changed so it's plumbed correctly, and it's what people are expecting if it ever has to be dug up again.
What would be some of the downsides of not doing the investment and fixing those?
I suppose, I don't know if there really is one. It's just an unconventional construction. If the post office was planning to maybe replace their sewer service, they would not expect it to cross over the main and connect to a service that's coming from the highway. So it's odd, but I don't know if it affects the
biggest downfall would be
functionality.
The biggest downfall would be if it would could plug to. Could, not saying it will. It would have to be right at that joint where they come together.
Okay.
I'm sure
How
Troy's
long
probably
have they been like that?
forever.
Who knows?
They got built that way, I believe.
We only found them after everybody was scrambling last fall. While the lining was being done and everybody was on top of each other here. And that's when they were found. So they got left. And Pat made a comment last fall that we were paying for everybody to have a separate line. And we kicked that around all winter, basically, back and forth. Historically, like he says, never has been a problem.
Was that missed on the Cammering side?
They didn't see it, is what they're telling us. Because they pre-televised it
Right.
before they put the liner in. They're telling us they didn't see it.
Well, if they did that, you know, if they touched every service, shouldn't they have caught that?
I would agree.
I mean, if they touched every service like they told us they did,
Mm-hmm.
then I would have thought that at least one of the 3 would have got caught.
Should have brought it to our attention at least.
That's
Yes.
a good point.
Especially if it's televised. And you can see them playing this day. I think, I mean, or is that, Or did they
one I
come
was-
out goofy, at
Yeah,
a goofy
they-
angle?
yeah.
They do.
Because sometimes if it comes out at a different direction, you're only kind of.
They could not get up it, there's no
Sure.
way. It just-
Because the way it came out.
Exactly, all three were that way.
Right.
That's all the one here for the fire outlet. Never knew. Till all of a sudden, how come it's not working, you know?
I think Jim's right. An ongoing maintenance kind of standpoint, you certainly would want it plumbed to the main, conventional construction. It would be difficult to access that service if we leave it like it is, if any of them ever have issues.
How are we doing overall with the project, financial wise?
With the change orders that we've run, I think we've lowered the contract amount by about 30,000. I should have looked at that, but I don't have that in the top of my head. But that seems right.
Pretty good that our numbers are coming up that
Well,
way.
I thought that's you, huh?
That's not on purpose.
Yeah, I'm starting to think not, Ken.
But that's
It's like
where
how
we're
you
at.
turn red right away.
Yeah.
well, street commissioner, water sewer commissioner, thoughts?
Well, I'm tossing around something in my head. And I mean, I get, like Jim, I understand that they're kind of, is that stuff supposed to be televised?
Mhm.
That should all be, I mean, according to the spec book, that's their baby,
Yes.
and not ours, technically.
But replumbing it would not have fallen on them, that's,
But they missed it. I mean,
Right.
see, so there's the gray area, because like you're saying how it came.
right.
Because when they run the cameras, I mean, everybody knows that. So there's kind of that gray area there that it's the, because obviously we want it done right.
Yeah, right.
That's the big thing.
If, let's say they caught it, brought it to our attention before they put the liners in, and we have this conversation, yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
I think it falls under a different,
That's,
I would feel differently with it, to be honest with you.
okay.
I mean, I want it done right, like, Jim does too.
Mhm.
We all do.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of money for 3 services that aren't done right. Well, 6 services if you want, because it's 3 separate areas.
Yeah, I suppose you're
You're-
plugging the
Right.
old connection.
How deep is the sewer main on here? I've heard conflicting reports, so.
I think it's about 12
I'm gonna say
feet.
about 15.
Yeah, I feel like it might be
By the time you
15
get
up at
down.
Stearns.
You might run into a lot of troubles down in north end here. By Jan's, that's what Jan's does, hers goes in to
Yep.
the neighbors. And that one, you didn't see that one at all. You were right by it.
So it's this one, the one over here, and Jan's that are the 3?
There are 3 culprits, yeah.
That we know of.
Well, that's, yeah, well, nobody else is plugged, so
Yeah.
everything else is fine. Cause that's when we found out.
I'm torn. I'd like to see it done right. However, it seems awful steep.
It does seem awful steep for something that should have been caught when they televised it. I mean, maybe I'm not understanding the process and how it could be.
Right, I guess to kind of go back to that, what I was trying to say before, if they had caught it when they televised it, stopped and said, hey, we need some direction from the city. What do you want us to do with these 3 unconventional sewer service connections? I don't know if the price would change if we would have said then, because you're bringing in an excavator and a crew and making one excavation to connect to the liner and replumb the goofy service, cap the old connection on the other service. It's, I don't know if the price would change, honestly.
I guess
I think it would a little bit.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. I've been on this side of it, I know you,
Okay,
We missed a service or two too. So I'm not gonna sit here and say we're perfect, no.
Can I
I
ask
plain
if
missed
the
one.
three services were not a part of the 2018 project? So those other three services?
No, they're all part of the,
yep,
They're all,
yeah.
part of this project.
They all connect into the sewer
The
main
lining
in
project
the
that we
alleys,
did.
yeah.
Okay.
how firm are they on that 10,000
That
per,
would have been a part of the
I
per
project.
can-
location?
Try to negotiate them with them.
I mean, I think that's kind of where we're all kind of sitting is, that does seem kind of steep,
Okay,
but we can talk them down.
is there a threshold?
I think since, if we wanna have it done by Valley Days, we're gonna have to give Kent a threshold of
Mhm.
where we're at with that. Because they're not gonna have time, by the time we have our next council meeting, for us to approve that.
The prices come down compared to what Kent first said they wanted. Right there.
They don't think that they are
Viable.
liable to fix it.
I don't think so, because that's how it was built, you know? It's,
Okay.
they're working with existing conditions. They
So
didn't.
when they bid the project,
Mhm.
fixing these oddities, which all cities have,
Mhm.
and this is what, wasn't part of the dollar amount.
No, not the
No.
original dollar.
No,
amount.
you-
However,
That's
it
what-
could have
That's
been,
what I was asking.
Right, no.
was,
And-
okay.
however, it could have been caught earlier,
Yes.
and we wouldn't have been caught.
And
That's
that,
where our
and
change
that's maybe
orders
something as a
Absolutely,
council
that
that
was
we
my
learn
point.
going forward, is that we kinda, since this isn't the only project that we've ran across oddities, you know, here, you know, I mean, like the
Yeah.
Main Street project, my neighbors, same situation. Two sewer lines, Mosers and Bruckers,
Yeah.
you know, they went into one and into the
Mhm.
street.
But that was an open cut, so they were able to fix that right away.
They were, but I guess what I'm getting at here is that when we go through and we're going into looking at doing our next area,
Mhm.
maybe we know that, you know, like Cindy said, all cities got these oddities, got these weird.
Keep an eye out for it.
Keep an eye out for it and just know that we're probably gonna run into that in other places, especially in the older parts of town.
Yeah.
I've never seen one. First time.
I've seen a lot of that in St. Paul. So it's just kind
So-
of odd that, because I mean, usually they catch them, but there's, you know, you miss one or two, but.
Three?
Or three.
So what's the threshold we wanna set for,
I guess I'm gonna lean on Troy on this one.
yeah,
a
that's
little
kinda
bit.
what we're all.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with it, because I mean, I read that book a lot, and I kind of know where the.
Mhm.
Or do you think that 10,000 is an okay
Uh,
number
it's-
considering the?
No, I think it's okay, but I think they can do a little better. I would say.
Is it, they need to do the job? I just heard a little bird say, can you bid it? Can we bid it out to have a different company do the job? Or is it because they're familiar and they've already,
We still have to get the liner crew back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I
Yeah.
would avoid bringing somebody else
Yeah.
in.
okay.
And the liner crew would have to come back to cut the holes for the new services
And seal it all.
and seal the old, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they would do is, okay, so we've got the clay pipe with the liner through it, right? And at the ends of all the liners, there is what's called a hydrophilic gasket. It swells when it gets wet. So then you have, the clay pipe is, think of it as field tile. You know, water can just get in there and it runs along the outside of the liner. And if you don't have those gaskets, then anywhere you've got an opening for a service, that water can, you know, right back into your main. So that's why we're doing all these service liners, those have gaskets too. The repair would consist of basically breaking the clay pipe off the outside of the liner, and they make a PVC tee that glues onto the liner itself, so you maintain your water tightness at that connection. And they saw the liner out, you know, through the inside of that tee, and then new PVC up and replace the service. And then plug this, the connection that was incorrectly made whenever it was originally built.
It seemed kinda complicated, yeah.
It's not.
No?
How
Okay.
far back are they gonna have to, they have an idea?
To replumb or to plug, either
To
or.
replumb. To plug is, that's not, I don't get too excited about that.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, I would
Them-
say. I think most of these have had a riser on them, if I'm not mistaken. So probably 3 or 4 feet PVC pipe, something like that. Make sure we're up out of the water table if we're in there.
Right. And what are we talking about as far as disturbing wise, surrounding area?
Yeah, it's,
Because you got.
we'd be through the
that's thing.
pavement.
You got pavement, you got all that other stuff you gotta deal with too,
Yep,
so. It's not just them digging a hole and fixing it, it's
You're
all the
right.
other entities coming
Mhm.
back to get it.
Yep.
And they have to pay them, and usually the price goes up when you're doing that.
And that's
How-
where.
How's
that's
our
where-
other little deal going? We got a little
that way.
negotiating?
Yeah, working on it. I'll get to
Okay.
that.
Yeah, why don't we try that too?
Okay.
Alright, so do we wanna lower it? Do we wanna leave it at 10, just have them do it, or have
I think we
Ken
should at least attempt to lower it,
attempt to
Oh, you
lower it?
have to do it, yeah, that's, you got to.
but to what, yes, to what, to a dollar amount are we gonna be happy with?
I would say 7,500.
Okay. I'll work on it.
I know you can do it.
7,500.
Okay.
Alright,
Anything else? Questions on the 18 project?
No, you addressed the frost heaves, I think, right? You said that there's cracks down here on
Yeah.
Stern Street.
Yeah, the
Baker Stern
patch in the
Street.
county road is totally coming apart.
Yeah, there's something wrong underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
that was kinda done late in the season.
It
that
was very
it?
late. Yeah.
So I guess I'm not too terribly surprised that there's issues down there.
I wouldn't, yeah, but if it's frost heaving that bad, there's something underlying that's
Sure.
causing that, I would think.
Yeah, we'll peel that out and take a look at the base, make sure it's all good to go before it gets patched again. And there's, like I said, there's a couple spots even around the block here that are doing the same thing, so that'll get addressed.
Okay.
Shifting gears a little bit, we've talked about Highway 22 and settled sidewalks and so on. I've talked to one, I made contact with another slab jacking operation to see if that's a viable solution to lift those sidewalks up. The one guy I talked to thinks it would work. What he would do is, he basically cores, what is it, inch and a half, I think, hole in the sidewalk, and they pump a grout into the concrete, and it lifts the slab up. And he would drill a hole about every 5 feet along the sidewalk in that 1 foot wide gray strip that touches the curb. He thinks that would work, but before committing to anything, he said he would like to try like a 30-foot test strip. So I've got that kind of in the works, and I'd like to talk to just a different company, second opinion, another pricing estimation kind of situation. So I'm working on that with Keekly.
They like the grout better than the foam?
That's what this guy uses, yeah. I know they do foam elsewhere too.
Yeah, I've seen it done both ways.
Okay. I've not used the foam.
The foam holds up.
That's, we didn't use it that much, but yeah, that's another method that they use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dramatically cheaper, but I don't know what the longevity of it is either.
Yeah, I couldn't say myself. I'd have to look into it. So the guy I talked to said they can color match pretty well, so after a couple years, the sidewalks get a little bit scuffed up or dirty or whatever, you hardly even notice those holes in there. And if we have to do any holes through the colored stuff, he said he could match that as well. Or if you're not looking for it, you probably aren't gonna notice it.
I'm looking at it this way, it's more of a safety concern
I
than
was just thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
making sure that it's matchy-matchy.
Yeah.
Is that going up State Street? Is that
It's
where
just
the
based
problem?
on-
All the colored stuff on Main Street has, in some spots, upwards to 3 inches.
Oh, I
So
haven't
basically from
noticed.
Fat Eddie's all the way to the
The lumberyard.
lumberyard.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Some
some
of it's,
spots
some of
are,
it's good, some of it's not. Most of
Yeah.
it's not.
yeah, there's some spots it's probably a 3/4 inch
Mhm.
drop if you look at it.
So I guess I don't have any definitive solutions with me right now, but wanted to let you know we are working on it. And that's still being talked about getting done.
And you're working with Keekly on that?
Yep,
Okay.
that's all I have, unless you have anything else for me. Okay, thank you.
No? All right. Thank you, Kent. Okay. Jim, you got anything else you'd like to share?
Sure. Crack filling was supposed to start today in the streets, weather permitting, though. That's gonna come when the weather gets decent, they will come in and get our crack filling done for the year. Johnson Jet Line was here, did all the cleaning of this year's sewer, and they are coming back to do some root cutting. There's just a few places this year, nothing like we had in the past. So, but that's done for now, they got everything televised up to now, what they could get through. Just a couple places they had to come in from both ways to verify.
Is there a lot of trash, leaves and that go down in it, that they have to clean out?
No, this is in the regular sewer. not
Oh, in the
storm
regular sewer, not in the,
Yeah,
okay,
don't put them down there.
sewer. No.
okay.
So that, they'll be coming back when they're in, sometime in July to root cut the way it sounded. It'll be in painful area. Generator in the old fire hall is all hooked up. Completion of just getting the paperwork for different people to start it, so that's in line for everybody, but that works, runs really nice.
You had to haul the old one back up there?
Yep, when we picked this one up, we hauled the other one back at the same time. Phase 1 at the water plant is done for this year. Did a good job. We've had a few little bumps in the road, but pretty much all figured out. Done with that for now. They're very good. When you call them, they're on it right away. Like that about them. June 15th, I was just told the Lions and West Central Sanitation are getting together for a citywide cleanup. It's gonna be at the city shop from 8 AM to 11. So,
All right, because that's good you brought that up, because I was actually asked about that this morning, if the city was going to help participate in that at all.
So when you say the citywide cleanup, like electronics or just all sorts of everything, or?
All kinds of things, there'll be a list of what the costs are for those different
different
For those
things that'll be
different things.
cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
We also have a hazardous waste cleanup coming in August, which they do every 2 years. I did not have that along with me because I felt that was so far out.
I know, I can't
So
remember.
the citywide cleanup, what all they taking? TVs, mattresses, they're taking everything and anything?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Lions and West Central Sanitation have hooked up. with
There's
it.
not a, there's, to the Lions are going to be volunteering. It really was the, Barb with the Lions who initiated this and set it up, so, which is why I wrote him a note, because it came about today.
8
but-
till 11.
Yeah, there'll just be a different fee on what you could bring, or,
Okay.
yeah. And the Lions are gonna help unload trucks.
Are they
and-
charged per pound, people, or?
It could be, yeah, yeah,
I assume that
Stay
they'll get
tuned for
us
further
information.
updates on this, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
yeah.
There'll be bulletin coming out or.
Yeah, absolutely,
It'll
we'll
be-
put together a flyer and get that information out to people.
Okay.
and-
Put it
Good.
Yeah,
online.
yeah, online, and we'll do an ad in the paper. Yeah.
There's been a lot of residents on the south side by the park down there, with the wetland situation, with the water being so high. I've been dealing, I've got Troy involved now, I've got, the commissioner from Meeker County involved, BJ Bass is involved, trying to see what we can do to get that water lowered. It's never been as high as it has. The gentleman that did all the dirt work for the Dollar General was back last week, and what the county and what the state said he could set in the ditch is he scraped maybe 2 inches off, got the water to drain very little, but it is a little draining. Getting these people together, it's not the city's problem, it's their problem, but people are coming to me because they don't know where to turn to. I understand that very well. So once we get everybody together, because it all drained before, I mean, not dry out there, but it's very high in the back to the south. So get those heads together and see what we can get accomplished there.
Is it just something that they got, that Meeker County's just gonna have to let them dig that ditch out a little bit deeper, or?
That's the highway.
Or highway,
state.
or that'd be the state then?
State Highway Department and also the watershed. So you get everybody together once and see what can happen. Something's gotta happen, put it that way, because it's all gonna freeze again because the pipes are full.
Okay.
Other than that, I've really got nothing else at this time.
I see mowing season has started.
Mowing season has started, irrigation season is going. Probably have to blow them down yet tonight. So, no, it's, everything else is, yeah, going okay.
And the geese are hatching out at the pond.
They should be, I haven't seen any yet, but they should, there's a lot of eggs out there this year. There'll be lots of little ones running. But unless you got something for me,
All right. Anybody got anything for Jim? No? Nope. All right. Okay, so I had the privilege to attend the Minnesota Mayor's Association conference last weekend in Stillwater. Very good conference. Some of the things that we talked about is there was a company called Declan Group that did a presentation about some of the workforce housing or workforce needs that we're running into in the state of Minnesota. It's been the first time in decades where there is more job vacancies than there are people looking for jobs. So some of the takeaways from that is, for like us as city officials is, well, getting to know our businesses in town and looking at ways of getting people in the community involved in the community, and did talk about different things. Like there's in the Minnesota deed for infrastructure. Talked about different things like what the EDA could look to do. As far as like low interest loans and different funds. Did talk briefly about TIF and tax abatement stuff for new developments of being able to attract more workers into the area. Just kind of some ideas on how we can as a city work with our local businesses more collaboratively in public-private partnerships to help address the workforce shortage and also workforce housing that we need. They did talk about stuff for like daycare needs. There's an impending daycare. Well, they actually call it a daycare crisis in Minnesota. There's more kids that need daycare than there are people doing daycare. The governor has talked about setting up a task force to kind of look at addressing that, through different regulatory changes to help make that. And one of the things that also the city, I actually used that opportunity to kind of outline the kind of the partnership that we have with the school with the old fire hall. There were a few other mayors that were like, yeah, we've got buildings in town too that the city has acquired either through like tax forfeiture or that stuff, and they were like, yeah, that's a great way of getting that building used and being able to address multiple needs at the same time. Kind of outlined our success story with the Little Eagles that the school runs, and running out of our old fire hall. Did have a chance to talk to Sarah Stroman from our new DNR commissioner. I've known her actually since the first time I went to the mayor's conference. She was a mayor at that time, so we sat and talked about different kind of the different trail ideas that we've got, the different Greater Minnesota
Right.
Trails, how they're trying to gear up to do some stuff, and kind of started planting the little earworms in there, saying, hey, Eden Valley be interested if you guys are looking at doing something, grants or loans or even different programs that they're looking at for parks and trails, that we'd be interested in joining any of that. So overall, like I said, was a great conference. Did get to unfortunately, I did get to miss the tour of the Stillwater prison. They only had 30 spots, and I was like 42. So, but just lucky was able to say successfully that the mayors that did go, all of them did come back. So, no, poor attempt at humor, but no, overall great conference, and League of Minnesota Cities always puts together a good conference, good information, good speakers. So, all right. Let's see. Moving on to any upcoming meetings.
No, I have one thing.
Okay.
Cindy and I did attend the Parks and Trail meeting for Meeker County. They have been planning on a 20-year plan, in correspondence with when they do the county roads, that we can get an additional 4 feet for trails. So they have it all mapped out at different parts of the county. Cindy and I, we put in, and Mona, she started this way back in September, but our thing was trying to get a trail from Lake Coronis over to Eden Valley, and then Eden Valley to Watkins. And then also tying it in with walking to school or biking to school.
That's Safe Routes to School,
right,
that the school has been working on.
right. And there are some really great people on that committee that know how to do the fundraising. It's just eye-opening. They know how to do the grants, and they know how to pursue to get the donations even to work on these projects. So I was really excited to hear what they've all been doing, and even in the different parts of Meeker County. And I didn't realize there is quite a few trails that are established. I didn't realize we have as many parks as we have, that people should go and enjoy these parks and trails. Anything else, Cindy, that you want to add?
No, that was very good.
I had some people approach me about around like Bales Lake, around, because County Road 9 is getting resurfaced, and had asked about that too. That's all I had to your story.
Okay, yeah, so,
my purpose of talking with the DNR commissioner, if I can go back to that a little bit, was to, I always kind of viewed Fredericks Park as almost like a trail center. Ideal location, just the south of town. It's already a big area, close to existing snowmobile trail. And if they ever do move forward, if we move forward, if that park committee or that trail committee moves forward with the 20-year plan, connecting that to Lake Coronis, connecting that to Watkins. Ideally, I'd love to see it go down to Litchfield, go up to Richmond to connect with the trail system up there. We have, I always looked at that as a ideal location for like a trailhead of sorts.
I think what they had on the agenda or on the map was to come out of Litchfield and then take less traveled county roads and then end up going past Manana, going over to number 4 by Lake Coronas. That's kind of how they had it mapped out, that maybe that was an idea that they could use.
Actually, Jan, I think it was Highway 12 over Grove City up before.
Okay,
And then the Richmond Trail ties in with Coronas, coming in along 23,
Mhm.
as they expand that. Westward, that would tie in with Coronas, and then from Coronas, they'd go down Fort to Grove City, and east being Valley and Watkins was kind of how the corridor is there.
okay.
Excellent.
But it's just one way of getting people into our town, to see what we have and to expand on our businesses and things like that.
All right. Anything else? All right, then on to our upcoming meetings. There is a council workshop I'd like to take an opportunity to schedule. This would be going over some of the things that Ernie has found with some of the ordinances that he's been looking at. Discuss those and get those ironed out. Looking at, I can get my phone opened here. Since our next actual council meeting is on June 5th, that maybe looking at something, like on the 22nd, would be 2 weeks from tonight. Any issues? All right, then on May 22nd at 7 bells. And then, like I said, our next official council meeting will be June 5th, 2019. That'll be considered a regular meeting. All right, and with that being said, I will go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn. Well, I said
I'll make
entertain.
a,
Dan,
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, all right, we'll do it a little backwards. Dan with the motion, Troy with the second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you and have a good night.